It is ATL Day Ones with Jarvis and Tanisha. Got my main man, Dylan Mathews, filling in. And all of you everydayers, if you thought rock with Dylan, go ahead, drop it in the comment box. Like, yeah, man, I rock with Dylan. That's my dude. Anytime Tanisha out, come to Dylan. Yeah, go ahead and do that. And let you know, Tanisha is coming back. Because, you know, Dylan, people get a little personal. They get possessive on this thing.
Hey, I
every day, they be getting, whew.
They got to have
kind of fight them off sometimes.
They here for the day ones. I understand it. Look, I would sub Tanisha in for me too if it was me. So it's all good. I'm right there with y'all.
Absolutely, much respect. Yeah. Speaking of subbing in, how about this? We got the Atlanta Braves. We know that they are running away with the division.
Yeah,
and we know more than likely they're going to be in that number one spot. And there are a lot of conversations being had. Even Spike Lee agrees that they are the best team in Major League Baseball. But I came to that conclusion a long time ago. Like it didn't take me long to figure out, hey, this is the best team in Major League Baseball.
Right.
But obviously, with all the injuries to the pitching staff, the Max Fried, Kyle Wright, and now here we sit where you had guys like Bryce Elder struggling, Charlie Morton was struggling, Spencer Strider was struggling. And now you have Max Fried coming back. He had an amazing opening in his first game back. He had an amazing outing. Then he had where he had struggled a little bit. And then this last one, he looked really good. And then you have Bryce Elder, 7 innings, one hit baseball. The bullpen kept it 1 hit. You know what I'm saying? And then you had 4 double plays. The defense was superb. But with all that being said, do you see now, given right now today, if we had to go into the playoffs as of today, do you feel like the Braves are ready to go on a World Series run? Not just do well in the playoffs. I'm talking about take it all the way. Do you feel like they're ready right now at this moment?
Oh, yeah, they're ready. I mean, you got Matt Olson on a tear right now. You have Ron Acuna Jr. doing MVP things, hit another home run last night, stealing bases left and right. Yeah, Ozzie Albies being down, that does hurt. But with Nicky Lopez doing what he's doing right now, Vaughn Grissom obviously getting called up. And obviously for Ozzie, I think they're being more precautionary than anything with him being on the 10-day IL. So let's just say the playoffs did start today. He will probably miss part of the first series, or maybe even miss the entirety of the first series, but he will be back for the championship series. So I think we would still be okay. I think we could survive a series without Ozzie, because I think we have plenty of other guys who can step up. Austin Riley's hitting well right now as well, and I think defensively we'll be good enough without Ozzie for the first series. So I think we'll be good on that aspect. As far as pitching goes, I think that could be. I'm not talking to you, Siri. But anyways, Siri was popping up trying to talk to me. I ain't trying to talk to you.
Damn you, Siri. We're doing a show right here. Come on now.
I'm doing something, Siri. But anyway,
we're doing something.
With the Braves pitcher right now, it was so good to see Bryce Elder do what he did last night. Honestly, it was a big sigh of relief to me, and I'm sure all Braves fans listening right now, because like you had said, Bryce Elder had been struggling. Charlie Morton had been struggling. I mean, there was, a 5-6 game stretch. I can't remember exactly how many games, but there was a stretch where, I mean, like basically all the pitchers didn't get past 5 innings. And it was like, yo, what's going on with this starting staff right now? Like, what's up? We were taxing the bullpen. So hopefully all those guys have gotten out of this funk, and we'll see Charlie Morton tonight. But it looks like hopefully the starting rotation is getting back into the form that we saw in the first half of the season, like we saw in June when they went on that incredible run. So I believe they are ready, because seeing Bryce Elder kind of work the kinks out last night, seeing Max Fried having a good outing in his being back at home for the first time in a while, and I think Spencer Strider will be fine. I think Charlie is a veteran presence enough. I think he'll be good. So I think the Braves are ready to go on a World Series run right now. I think the offense, like they've been doing all year long, will continue to carry this team. And I think even if we get mediocre pitching, I think even if we get average pitching, I think the offense will be good enough. And I think the bullpen, who has been pretty solid too, they have shaky moments, but I think overall, if we look at the whole scope of the season so far, I think they've been good enough too, and more good than bad over the entirety of the season. I think we'd be good even with mediocre pitching, but I don't think we would get that right about now. It seems like the Charlie Mortons, the Max Frieds, the Bryce Elders, the Spencer Striders of the world, who were struggling there for a little bit, I think hopefully right now they're starting to turn a corner, hitting their second win. And with the Braves bats going the way they are, and if you get good starting pitcher right now, like it looks like we're going to start to get again, watch out, because the Braves might make a mess of the playoffs in a good way.
You know what? And for me, I think like the X factor in all of this, I feel is Kyle Wright.
Yes.
Because like
Definitely.
I hate to say this. I really do. I really do hate to say this, but I don't trust Charlie Morton. I don't
See
trust
that.
Charlie. I don't trust Uncle Charlie, because when you're thinking about
He's old.
age, he's getting old. He's up there. Not getting old. He's old. He's up there in age. And then we've seen like how he's kind of tailed off at the end of the season. Would that be end of the season with an injury, you know, or getting to a point where, hey, he's pitching well, but he gets hurt. And like we've seen that happen a couple of times. And now like you seeing like he just seems like he's just wearing down. So I really feel like Kyle Wright is going to be the X factor. Yes, because like we know he's down in Florida. It look like he's gonna start doing some more start getting some live bats, live at bats, against some guys and start getting that rolling on that end. So, it looks like he's still on track to come back around, that September time frame, like Alex Anthopoulos talked about at the trade deadline. So, and I really feel like that's probably the only thing that concerns me at this moment, because like we know we need three guys. We need three guys when in the rotation when the playoffs roll around.
Yeah.
Like not many people are going four deep in a 7-game series. So I think that when you have a guy like that, a 20-game winner, potentially coming back, and if he's able to at least be a portion of himself,
you're right.
Then what we saw last year, and given how this offense is playing, like you mentioned, I really feel like they'll be ready for a World Series run. I'm not too concerned about Ozzie Albies. Like he's only 10 days. Yeah. And to be honest with you, I feel like this is precautionary for the most part. When you talk about soft tissue,
you got to
of course, you got to be careful. You got to be careful with that, because those things, if you don't rest,
too, because man, you tear hamstring and that's doing you in.
It's done. Yeah, it's a done deal. And like once you aggravate that bad boy, it is you're talking about adding on weeks and weeks, to be able to come back and be yourself. And then once you come back, then there's a rehab process. So I think that the Braves have handled that in the best way. They brought up Vaughn Grissom. I love what Nicky Lopez is doing right now. So I think that overall, the where I'm concerned is definitely that Charlie Morton piece, because I know how Brian Snicker is and that loyalty and how that works for him. I know he wants to say, hey, that's my third guy in the rotation. But if Kyle Wright comes back and he starts to give you what we saw last year, when he won 20 games, he needs to be number 3. I'm sorry. I know it's gonna be a tough conversation, but that's where I feel we need to be headed.
And Jarvis, let me ask you this real quick. I actually got 2 questions for you. Number one, Kyle Wright. Mm-hmm. Do you think he's going to be able to get enough starts to where the Braves feel comfortable putting him in that situation to play in the postseason? Because right now, the way his timeline is looking, he's early September, somewhere around that, maybe. So he could probably get in 2-3 starts at the most before the postseason, maybe 4.
Maybe. Yeah.
I think if he gets 4, depending on how those 4 look, I think that's fine. But say he only gets 2 starts before the postseason is slated to start. Do you think that's enough for Brian Snicker and the Braves to feel comfortable about putting him out there in a playoff situation?
I think 2 is enough, to be honest with you, because that was a number that kind of popped in my mind. Because when you think about it, like especially like given how those starts goes, like say for instance he goes 4 innings and he only gives up 1 run, and boom, they go to the bullpen. Good. Yeah. That's good. That's solid. That's good. You know what I mean? Yep. Or if he goes 6 and gives up 2 or even 3 runs, I feel like that's solid enough. Like if you give me those two type of performances, like as long as it's not you not operating on extremes, like you're saying, like my God, he went 5 innings and gave up 7 runs, and then he came back and pitched 6 scoreless. Like I don't know,
right? You don't tell him.
You know what I'm saying? So if I know if I'm getting some consistency, all I'm looking for is consistency between those 2 starts. I feel like 2 starts would be enough for you to be able to say, you know what, I think we should be good to go. And for me, if he's giving you the consistency that you can see, because Alex Anthopoulos knows, man, I don't question that dude. If he sat at the trade deadline, I trust Alex. I trust Double A. If he sat up there at that trade deadline and he was talking to all of the, the medical staff and talking to SNIT and all that stuff, he said, you know what, we're good. I don't want to give up Von Grissom, right now. I want to hold on to I want to hold my mule on that one, and then see what we got in the near future as well. So because hey, like they understand what his capabilities are. So hey, we got some horses in the stable, and like you said, Max Fried has turned out well. We're starting to see why he was the ace of this staff, and then if Kyle Wright has come back and they get those 2 starts in, that's all I said. That's all I'm asking for. If you get those 2 starts, I really feel like the Braves will be cooking with grease.
All right, my other question for you is this. Say there's no Kyle Wright for the postseason for whatever reason. Are you taking, obviously Spencer and Max are going to be your top 2 dogs in no particular order.
Absolutely.
Probably Max first, then Spencer Strider, whatever.
Right.
You taking Bryce Elder over Charlie Morton at this point in time, or are you rolling 4 deep and just taking all 4 in and say, look, maybe we go Charlie in game 4 in case it's a closeout situation. We let the veteran try and be in that situation, and we let Bryce Elder go game 3, and maybe we're feeling good. Maybe they go up 2-0 with Max and Spencer. I mean, how are you handling that situation if there's no Kyle Wright? How are you handling the starting pitcher rotation?
To be honest with you, I'm gonna have to go with Bryce. As my 3rd starter. Because here's the thing, I really feel like that age piece, that wearing down piece is going to come to a head. I really feel like that's where we are right now, to be honest with you.
Man, he's looked tired.
Yeah, tired, controls all over the place. Like, we don't know where the ball's going. Is it going to go into the catcher's mitt? Like, or is it going to go into the dirt? Like,
right.
Are we going to walk 7 people at one time? Like, I don't know. So yeah, it's just been a lot going on with Uncle Charlie. So I think that, Bryce Elder, it would be the choice. So, you got,
especially now that he had a good start last night. It looked like he's back to all-star Bryce too. So, I mean, that makes a case for it as well.
Yeah, and he's the type of guy that, he doesn't necessarily use power, so to speak. He's a location pitcher, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
He doesn't need strikeout. He's a guy he can get you a one and done, because those count a lot when you get into the playoffs. Like those 1 pitch count at bats, you know what I'm saying? Like those ground ball pitchers do really well in the playoffs, in my opinion. So especially in the long ball era that we are in right now in Major League Baseball. So yeah, speaking of long ball, man, the people been rocking with us for a minute. We call them our everydayer, Dylan. And we just want to say we appreciate you all for rocking with ATL Day Ones with Jarvis and Tanisha each and every day. We are free and available wherever you download your podcast. And wherever you download your podcast, make sure that you leave us a 5-star review. Don't be a hater all your life. Come Carter, the cool kids. You know what I'm saying? Dylan Ross with us. Everybody rock with us. Random and Michael, John Michaels, and all the other Michaels in the world.
Everybody rock with ATL Day Ones. How could you not? If you don't rock with ATL Day Ones, there's something wrong with you. You need to look in the mirror. Something going on internally.
It's something on internally. We looking internally, man. We getting mental health checks on this show and everything. We doing it up today.